Welcome to another TCG Card Shop Simulator PokeMod video. In this video, I am going to show you how to update PokeMod when there is a new version available. As you can see right now, there is a new version available. I'm going to show you how to remove PokeMod because I've gotten a lot of comments on my previous videos asking how to remove the mod. And I'm also going to show you how to install it or reinstall it along with the other mods that are needed. Now, I do have another video that shows you how to do that, but I want this video to be kind of like a complete guide sort of thing, kind of your one-stop shop to doing everything. So as you can see here, as I said, PokeMod has an update available. The TextureReplacer also has an update available. So for those of you who haven't seen my other video, the PokeMod mod has two dependencies that it needs. It needs TextureReplacer and it needs BepInEx. All right, so as you can see, there is an update for TextureReplacer. So I'm going to do that later. But first, I want to show you guys that even though PokeMod does have an update, I should still be able to play it. So I'm going to go into Steam here and I'm going to load up my TCG Card Shop Simulator. So you can see PokeMod is still working for me. If I load my game, you'll see that everything that was working before is still working. All of the textures are still working fine. The only difference is that the new version adds textures for the new stuff that was added. So for example, I'll show you. If I go into stock order, there were a bunch of new accessories added. So like new playmats. This Obsidian Flames playmat is still PokeMod, but then these new ones here are not. Like this one here, this is Gigatron X, and the other ones after that are still from the original game because they were just added, and the mod version that I'm using has not updated these yet. So, and then the same thing with the comic books. Like down here, you'll see all of these are Pokemon comic books, but then if I go down to the new ones, these ones are not, right? So the new version of the mod will replace these. So I'm just going to close the game now, and I'm going to show you how to quickly update the mod. Now, you can see it is working, even though TextureReplacer needs an update. I don't necessarily have to update TextureReplacer if everything's working, but I would recommend that you always have the most up-to-date version of a mod if it is available. So I'll show you how to do that later, but first I'm going to update PokeMod. So it's very easy to update. Just click into the mod, scroll down, go to Files here. Now this is assuming that you already have PokeMod installed, the previous version, okay? So I'm going to hit Manual Download, and then I'm going to hit Download. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I have a folder on my desktop called TCG Mods. This is where I store all my mods. I clear it out before every video just to not have it be too cluttered. So I'm just going to save it here. When it's done, I'm just going to open it up, and you'll see the zip file here. One thing to call out is I don't use any third-party software for handling zip files. I just use like the regular Windows compression thing. So I'm going to right-click this, and I'm going to extract all. And I'm just going to extract it to this same exact folder. Okay, so when it's done, you'll see that there is now a PokeMod folder here. There's also still the zip file here. I'm just going to delete this like I always do in my other videos just to keep things simple. So that's gone now. So this folder now has everything that you need for the update. So if I click into it, you guys don't have to click into it. Just stay in your mods folder. I just want to show you. If I click into it once, then you'll see there's this TCG Card Simulator folder. If I click into it again, there is BepInEx, again, plugins, again, TextureReplacer, and then inside TextureReplacer you have these folders which have all of the actual files that update all the textures. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my TCG Mods folder, okay? So we're in TCG Mods, and this is the PokeMod one. So now I'm going to click in once in here. This is what you guys need to do. Then you'll see this TCG Card Shop Simulator folder. So just like in the other videos, I'm going to go into Steam. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to Library, and then I'm going to right click on TCG Card Shop Simulator here. I'm going to go to Manage, and then I'm going to go to Browse Local Files. This will bring up your Steam Apps Common folder, which has TCG Card Shop Simulator in it. So you want to replace this TCG Card Shop Simulator folder. So I'm going to go back one to Common. Now you can see TCG Card Shop Simulator is here. Okay, so I'm going to move this folder, the Steam folder, to the right, and I'm going to have the PokeMod folder on the left. Okay, so I'm going to be copying from here to here. Now you see there's a bunch of empty space here. This is where you want to drag the folder because you want to replace this folder with this folder. Okay, now remember I have a bunch of other mods in here, right? they're not going to get affected if I do this correctly. So again, you want to drag this into this empty spot. If you drag it anywhere else on any of these folders, it's not going to work because you're going to then drag the folder into another game, and you don't want to do that. So make sure that you're dragging and dropping here, not anywhere up here. Okay, so I right click dragged, and I'm gonna release it, and then I'm gonna say copy here. Now it's gonna tell me that the destination has a whole bunch of files with the same names. I'm gonna replace these files. It's only going to replace the files that are needed to be replaced and nothing else. Okay, so let's just replace it, and I'll show you guys. Okay, so that's done now. So this should make this all work. So if I go in here now, TCG Card Shop Simulator, I'm going to go into BepInEx, plugins. Now see, all my mods are still here. The only thing that got replaced was the TextureReplacer folder, and the only thing inside TextureReplacer that got replaced were any new files that were different. Okay, so you can see here, look, objects, data. The last time it was updated was the 16th of October. Same thing with meshes, 16th of October. Object textures was the one that got replaced today. Today is the 22nd. So that's the only one that actually changed. Okay, so that's done now. So now if I go into the game, I'm going to load it up. Okay, so everything appears to still be working. I'm going to load my save. And if I did this correctly, you'll see those things that I showed you before, the comic books and the playmats should all be updated now. So I'm going to go to stock order. I'm going to go to accessories. I'm going to scroll down, and there you go. So these are now new playmats, right? There's the Mewtwo one, Blastoise, and the Venusaur one. And then the comic books, same thing. We have new comic books here. So there's nothing from the base game again. So that's all working fine. For those of you who just needed to update, you can basically stop here. If you want to know how to update things like TextureReplacer and stuff, then you can keep watching. And if you want to see how to actually install everything from scratch, let's say you have a problem, the game is crashing, or whatever else, then I'll show you how to do that at the end of this video. So I'm going to quit the game now. I'm going to close this folder here. I'll keep the mods folder open. I'm going to go back to Nexus Mods here. So I'm just going to hit back on my browser to go back to that initial page that I showed you guys. TextureReplacer needs an update, right? Let's just say that the game wasn't working because TextureReplacer broke a bunch of stuff. So I need to update it. So the problem is, if you update TextureReplacer, it could potentially cause an issue with the stuff that you replaced before when you installed PokeMod. So generally, if there's an update available to one of the key mods like TextureReplacer, just to keep things simple, I would recommend you remove the mods and everything and then just do it again from scratch, because the last thing you want is to have like files that are corrupted or files that are in the wrong place or that kind of thing. So I would just recommend removing everything and then just reinstalling and doing it from the beginning. So that's kind of what I'm going to show you here. So this is kind of a twofold scenario. This is if you want to remove everything and just have the base game again, and also if you want to remove everything and then reinstall stuff with updates. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that folder again in Steam. So I'm going to go to library just like last time. I'm going to right click on TCG Card Shop Simulator. I'm going to go to manage, and then I'm going to go to browse local files. Okay, now remember, I have a bunch of mods in here that I don't want to lose, right? So just in case, I'm going to go into this BepInEx folder. I'm going to go into plugins. And any mod that I want to back up that I don't want deleted, I'm going to copy them into another folder. So I'm just going to get this auto light switch, auto set prices, better collision. I'm going to leave that. There's nothing in there in configuration manager. Movable trash bin, stock count, and then TextureReplacer I'm not going to do because I'm going to update that anyway. But these mods have nothing to do with the PokeMod one. I'm going to copy them, or you can do Control-C, whatever you want. And then I'm going to go to my PokeMod folder again, where I had all of the mods that I'm storing. I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it Mods Backup. And then I'm going to go into there, and I'm going to paste the mods. Okay, so now my mods are safe. So if I delete the game, then I don't have to worry about bringing all these mods back, because one step in deleting the game is removing the TCG Card Shop Simulator folder, which I'm going to show you next. All right, so now that's done. I'm going to right click on TCG Card Shop Simulator, and I'm going to go to manage, and I'm going to go to uninstall. and then I'm going to uninstall it. Now keep in mind, when you uninstall the game, you do not lose your save data because the game is saved on the cloud. So all of your saves will still be there when it comes back. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is go back to your Steam Apps Common folder. In here, you'll see TCG Card Shop Simulator. It's still there, right? Now I want to delete this. So I'm just going to press delete on my keyboard, or you can right click and you can do the trash can, whatever works for you. And now that's gone. So the game is completely gone from my laptop now. So the next thing you want to do is go back to Steam again, go to TCG Card Shop Simulator, and then hit install. And then you're going to install it. Okay, so it's done installing. So for those of you who wanted to remove PokeMod, that's how you do it. So PokeMod is now completely gone. Everything is back to the way it was before. So if I press play, go into the game, you'll see it's completely back to the way it was before. All right, so I'm going to load my game. Also, all my other mods are gone as well. Everything that I had installed previously is all completely gone. So there you go. Everything's back to normal. No more PokeMod. Okay, so I just quit out of the game. Now let's say you wanted to reinstall PokeMod from scratch. Okay, so that's what this next one is. This next part is going to be. Now, like I said, I do have another video that does this much slower. So if you want to check that video out, then check out the card in the corner of the screen that will take you to that video. Now, keep in mind that there is one step in that video that confuses some people, and that's the part where I actually copy the TCG Card Shop Simulator folder from my mods folder to the Steam Common folder. Just do what I did in this video where I dragged and dropped it into the empty space, right? In the other video, I actually pasted it, but you should drag and drop. It's going to be less confusing if you do it that way. And make sure you drop it into an empty space in the folder, not into one of the other folders. Okay, so we're going to do this now from the beginning, and I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker here. So first things first, we're going to go back to the Nexus Mods page, okay? So I'm going to click on PokeMod here. Now, remember, I already downloaded the new version of PokeMod, so I don't need to download that again. But if you do need to, then this is where you would download it. In Files again, right? And PokeMod TCG. This version is 4.4. On the description page, you'll see a tab for requirements. You want to click that. And then, now remember, you removed everything, right? So you don't have BepInEx anymore. You don't have TextureReplacer anymore. So you need both of those again. Or if you're installing from scratch, then this is what you need to do. So I'm going to download BepInEx, go to Files, and I'm going to manually download. And again, I'm going to save that in my TCG mods folder. So it now downloaded the zip file for BepInEx. Then I'm going to go back to my TCG mods folder, and you'll see it right here, the zip file. So again, just like we did with PokeMod, I'm going to right click, extract all. I'm going to extract it to this folder. And I'm going to close the folder that popped up. I'm going to delete the zip file to keep things clean. And then I'm going to open up the common folder that I had already opened up. Inside Steam Apps Common, I'm going to go to TCG Card Shop Simulator. I'm going to move this to the right. I'm going to have this on the left. I'm going to, in the TCG mods folder, I'm going to click into BepInEx. I'm going to grab all of the files in here. I'm going to highlight them all. And I'm going to drag them into, again, an empty space over here inside the TCG Card Shop Simulator folder. And I'm going to copy them. Okay, so that's done now. So BepInEx is now installed. And again, from my other video, if you want to know if it actually worked, then just open the game, load up a save, press F1 on your keyboard. This should pop up. This is a BepInEx window. Now, if you don't get this F1 menu for whatever reason, that means you either didn't install the file in the right place, or if your computer is doing something different, like it's putting your computer to sleep, or it's doing something else, then your F1 key is probably tied to some other function. So you might need to press a function button on your keyboard and then press F1 at the same time. For me, it's not like that. For me, if I press F1, then it does what F1 is supposed to do. If I want to do the function version, then I have to press function and then press F1. If I do that, for me, it mutes and unmutes. That's what my F1 does. But if that was backwards, and if I pressed F1 and it muted, that's why you won't see that menu pop up. So just keep that in mind. Some people might have that problem. But once you figure it out, if you press F1 and you get this, then you know it's working. So I'm just going to click close, and then I'm going to exit the game. Now there were no mods installed, so you didn't see any mods in that BepInEx window. That's going to change in a second here. Okay, so I'm going to go back now to Nexus Mods. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to the PokeMod page here where I first downloaded BepInEx. I'm going to go to the description tab, and I'm going to go to requirements again. And this time I'm going to download TextureReplacer. Same exact way I did before. I'm going to click in here, going to go to files, and I'm going to do manual download. And then I'm going to download it. I'm going to save it in my TCG mods folder. And then I'm going to go to the folder, go back here to TCG mods. Now you see TextureReplacer here. So again, I'm going to right click. I'm going to extract all. And I'm going to extract. If you have any issues with the unzipping process, remember I'm not using WinRAR, I'm not using 7-zip, I'm not using any of those. I'm just using the standard one. If you are using one of the other ones, then it's going to be a little bit different for you. From what I understand, 7-zip doesn't work. So if you're using 7-zip, it might cause problems. So either just use what I'm using, the default one, or use WinRAR. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to delete the zip. Now TextureReplacer is downloaded. I'm going to click in once into TextureReplacer. Now this is a folder that I want to copy. Where do I want to copy it? On the right here, inside Common TCG Card Shop Simulator, I'm going to go into the BepInEx folder, and I'm going to go into plugins, and I'm going to paste it in here. So again, I'm going to click once on the TextureReplacer. I'm going to right click, drag it to an empty space, and I'm going to copy it. Done. So now it should look like this. You should have TextureReplacer and Configuration Manager inside the plugins folder. Now if you want to check to see if it's working, again, open the game. If I go into my save, and if I press F1, now you'll see TextureReplacer here. That's how you know that it's installed. So I'm going to close this. Now we still have not installed PokeMod, so everything is still the same here, right? So now I'm going to quit the game again, and then I'm going to go back to this folder. I'm going to go back to the TCG mods folder. Now remember that we already downloaded PokeMod, right? So it's the same thing as before. On the folder on the right, you want to go back. You want to go back to Steam Apps Common, where the TCG Card Shop Simulator folder is. Make sure you click off of any of the folders. And then you want to go to the folder on the left here where I have all my mods. I'm going to go into the PokeMod folder once. Oh, and actually put my mods back up inside this folder, but that's fine. I'm going to click once on TCG Card Shop Simulator, and I'm going to drag it over here to an empty space. So right click, drag, empty space, let go, copy. Now it didn't ask me to replace any files, right? Because everything was fresh. So I'm going to go back into the game now, and now you can see Pokemon icon if I load my game, and there you go. It's all working again. All right, so everything's updated. We don't have any crashes. We don't have any other weird things missing, anything like that. So that's done. Now, keep in mind, all my other mods have still not been put back in. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. For anybody who had mods backed up, this is what you want to do next. So you want to go into the TCG Card Shop Simulator folder in Common again. Go into BepInEx. Go into plugins. And then you want to go to where you backed up your mods. So for me, it's this mods backup folder, which unfortunately I placed inside of PokeMod. It actually shouldn't be here. It should be one layer back. So I'm just going to move it actually. So I'm going to cut it. You don't need to do this if you didn't do it the way that I did. And I'm going to paste it into here. This is where it should be. Okay. So I'm going to go into my mods backup folder. I'm going to grab all of these. I'm going to right click, drag them into the plugins folder in an empty space, not here, not here, here. And I'm going to copy. And that's it. So now all my mods have been placed back in. And just to confirm that it's working, I'm going to again open the game. Now when I press F1, there you have it. All my mods are here, including TextureReplacer. So now all my mods are back in. Everything's fine. PokeMod is working. And we're good to go. So that's it. That's how you update PokeMod. That's how you remove PokeMod and reinstall it or install it from scratch. Now, some questions that some people have had in my comments, does it work on the prologue version of this game, which is the free, basically demo version, the limited version of the game? The answer to that is no. It does not work on that. Oh my god, dude just walked right through me. It does not work on the prologue version. Does it work on a pirated version of the game? I have no idea because I don't pirate games. So if you have questions about, pirating this game or other games, I can't help you there. Does it work on Steam Deck? I'm unsure. I think it does. I think some people have gotten it to work, but I unfortunately don't have a Steam Deck right now. I am planning on getting one, but I do not know, and I can't do a video on Steam Deck because I don't have one, unfortunately. Does it work on Mac? Again, I'm not sure. I use a Windows PC, so I don't know if it works on Mac, and if it does, it might be a little bit different. All right, so hopefully you guys found that helpful. If you did, please like the video, drop a comment, subscribe, all those great things. And I'm just going to drop a shout out to Fuzz, who is my son, and he has his own channel now. We still are going to do stuff on this channel, of course, but I just wanted to give a shout out to him and his channel. So definitely check out his channel and drop him a sub if you can. That would be really great. It would make him really happy. And that's all for now. So thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.